Yo, what's good, CheckDown family? We back with another episode for our fantasy football players, man. This is our IDP and Team Defense buyers and sellers, man. We obviously gonna go through a few lists of what's going on, man. But obviously, some teams have reported training camp. We are back in full swing, man. Everything is coming around the bend, man. And I am ready for football. But first, man, before we get into the great show, the episode we got for y'all, man, J Mick, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good. Like I'm kind of with you, man. Like my rookies reported Tuesday. My first training camp practice going on as we speak. Like the owners talking about Christian getting paid. So I'm feeling pretty good right now, man.
Certified. What's good with you, bro?
I can't call it, brother. What's up with you?
Man, a lot of money in the air, man. Just waiting to see who get paid and see what it affect my team because obviously, two cornerbacks out there we were just talking about got to get paid this off season with Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez, and I think it's an interesting tandem because next year I'm probably in the same boat of playing Quinion, so this money
Come
right
on,
here kind
man.
of affects me, man.
Yeah, like these conversations during training camp always get interesting, man, because some of these corners got the same agent, and it just they get real interesting sometimes.
Yeah, it do, man. But we're gonna see how it play out, man, because obviously it's a lot of high paid money out there. And obviously you told us, J Mick, your owner said he already made an offer to make him the highest paid cornerback in the league, and now we wait to see what Witherspoon makes first.
Yeah, it's like I said, like him and Christian Gonzalez and Witherspoon got the same agent, so. Like it's like that with certain positions where some of these guys got the same agent, they go in the same draft class. So it's like, the agents try to, like he's trying to get both his clients the most money. So sometimes you just gotta sit down and be patient. And sometimes the local sports media don't want to be patient and they ask the questions. Well, why isn't dude paid already? So, um, yeah, but it's like, Christian, I'm not worried about it, man, because like we're not paying a bunch of people anyways right now. Like we're only paying Milton Williams got paid. But outside of Milton, we really haven't really paid a whole bunch of people. So like that's why last year we had a bunch of cap space, and we even use up all our cap space this year. I'm not really worried about the money aspect because I expect Christian to get paid this year, and then I expect if Drake have another good year, I expect Drake May to get paid next summer. So that's just what it's going to be. So like the owner gonna have to come out his pockets. That's all.
Yeah, man, that money gonna get swung around a little bit because it's a little difficult out here right now for them boys, but it should
Yeah.
it should. You know what I mean? It's a waiting game because when you get into this type of situation, man, you kind of stuck here in a sense, right? Somebody gotta move, somebody gotta bust that first move and make a collaborative effort to get one of the other paid. So to be on somebody else's time right now, I guess that's a little bit difficult though, because you kind of waiting on another team to pay their counterpart so you can pay yours. It's a sticky situation.
Sometimes you just got to be a little patient. Sometimes, man, that's just what it is. Sometimes. So,
I mean, you ain't got a choice at this point. I mean, if he already made it clear that hey, we waiting until such and such get paid, I mean, you really can't do much.
you just got to be, yeah. But that, like I said, that's the problem. The fans could be more patient than the media. Sometimes like the local media could be impatient because like there've been stories going around about Gonzo going to hold out and they're not going to pay him and trading him and all this other shit. And I'm just like give me a fucking break. Excuse me, a damn break. Like I said, like sometimes you just got to be patient. Like the owner then said he's going to pay the guy. So some of the guy gonna get paid. It's like I said, it's not even August 1st, man. It's July 24th, man. Like sometimes you just gotta be patient.
Thank you. So
But that and like there's a bunch of training camps started, and man, like football. Like football in the air, man. And I'm glad to see it though.
But man, hey man, so obviously today we here for obvious reasons, man. We talking about these IDP buyers and sellers, man. The last week we did do the offense. If y'all didn't yet catch it, man, go tap in with the last week's show, man. Get all your offensive players, man, that we have as buyers and sellers, man. We trying to, build you a little team. And if you haven't yet, man, and you want us to, send over your fantasy teams, man, and we will do a breakdown of your team and what we feel about it, give them a rating. Uh and possibly give you some advice on how you can improve your team through the waiver wire with what's available. But man, this one gonna be quick. Do y'all got any news? Any new news come out lately from the NFL?
I mean, I know for my team, like we drafted Gabe Jackets in the second round. He finally signed today. I mean, it's been an ongoing story for my team for like the last couple of months about like him having some sort of procedure on his knee or whatever. Um, but I mean, like the fan base was worried about him turning into the guy that the Bengals drafted last year, Shamar Stewart, taking forever to sign. But I mean, we finally signed him today. So I'm glad to see that. Trying to think what other news happened this week. I do know a couple guys got extensions. I just don't remember which ones those were. I'd have to look that up. Hold
Oh yeah, Nick Scorton, man. Hopefully for a speedy recovery for him, man. Uh ACL, he will be out for the foreseeable future. Placed on IR. Uh Pavia was waived. I didn't think he was gonna make it anyways, though. But
Yeah, and then there was a report talking about he's about to come to our camp next. And I'm like, give me a break, man. We don't we don't need
hey,
you
man,
over here. We don't need him over here, man.
you know,
Oh,
that's
oh,
interesting. Oh,
the news.
Mahomes too.
Yeah, I was about to say like the news had came that he's cleared to practice, so it's looking like Mahomes might not miss any games. So
I don't know, man. I read the report. That I saw when I read it before. I saw the little soundbite. Or listened to the soundbite with Mahomes, and he was like, you know, um, something to the fact like I'm not in the clear just yet. This is something I'm going to be dealing with for the next year or maybe next few years. I don't know, but I'm still working. So um, I don't know what that means.
Well, he also said he probably gonna not do as much running this season as he has previously. You know what I mean? Which I suspect, man. I mean, he last year seemed like that offensive line, that offense wasn't as talented. He was doing a lot of scrambling
yeah, but like, did that offense?
for his life and for the play.
Then it begs the question: do you really think that offense is more talented than it was last year? Like, I think
No,
slightly.
well, maybe. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, because of Kenneth Walker, but at the wideout position, I don't think it's any better. I think it's probably the same, if anything.
I would say it depends on what Kelsey looks like. You know, I think that's going to be huge for that team. But they definitely are going to have to figure out how to add some talent around Mahomes like fast because this got to be it for Kelsey. This got to be the last hurrah.
People have been
But
saying that for
they took my sleeper, and I I think I don't know. I don't like they don't develop receivers well over there, man.
I mean,
They
to me,
don't.
that's why I posed that question. Like, the wide receiver room to me isn't any better. Like, they pretty much brought back everybody that was there last year, with the exception of Hollywood Brown. Like, Hollywood Brown went to another team,
Yeah,
and
he on
so
my team.
yeah, and so they didn't really draft any wide receivers. I mean, they have their two, like their two draft picks from the previous year that are coming back. And if you know anything about Andy Reid, like Andy Reid really don't utilize rookie wide receivers in their rookie year. So I guess you could hope that you're going to get more out of them rookies that they drafted last year. Because I think they drafted a kid from Utah State. I forgot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So they drafted him. So you got to hope you get more out of him. And then like Rashid Rice, you got to hope that he don't get in trouble, because I mean, like Rashid is, I mean, to me, if Rasheed play all 17 games, he's gonna put up 1,000 yards. I mean, like Mahomes is gonna look for him, and he's gonna, he's gonna put up good numbers. But like outside of that, wide receiver room, like I've stated from day one, I never believed that Xavier Worthy was worth the first round pick. I always believe the only reason why he got drafted there was because of his 40 time. And he hasn't really shown me anything. And that, I mean, it kind of go back to my net about Texas wide receivers, man. Texas wide receivers have not, they've come out of Texas and been highly acclaimed and haven't done anything. And it's just not. It goes from Worthy to Golden up in Green Bay. And they got the kid Wingo that's still there at Texas that everybody was hooping, hollering about last year, and he didn't do nothing last year. And then Texas had to bring in Cam Coleman, who's already surpassed him on the depth chart at Texas already. So it's like Texas wide receivers they haven't produced in the NFL. So for me, it's just like you got to show me. And so, I mean, the crazy thing is they brought in Tyquan Thornton, who the Patriots drafted. And I mean, Tyquan had more of an impact than Xavier Worthy last year. So, in my personal opinion, because I mean, he gave them a reliable deep threat. So I don't know.
I do like their late round draft pick at receiver. Y'all know I was real high on Cyrus Allen.
Yeah, you right?
Yeah, from Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I like him, but I don't like how they develop receivers, and they're not good at it. And no matter who they bring in, you don't really see like the development of any of those receivers. Like Rashee Rice, yeah, he's
but I think he was ready to go.
He's been up and down, but he hasn't really had a consistent season yet either.
Yeah, but I think Rasheed, they didn't have to develop him because, I mean, didn't Rasheed play at what was he playing, like SMU or something for 4 years? Like when he came into the league ready to go, I don't think they need to develop him that much. But yeah, I mean, you're right. But I think this is an Andy Reid problem goes back way before he even got to the Chiefs. Like I think it's been an Andy Reid problem for a while. Like he has issues developing wide receivers, which I mean, I can't look down on the Chiefs because my team can't even do that. Like I mean, there are a lot of teams that have trouble with doing that. So, I mean, it's not necessarily like the easiest thing in the world.
I think that's been Andy Reid's problem for a minute. He get a quarterback, and he believes that quarterback can make all the talent better. So he believes if he brings in whatever type of receiver, whatever type of player, whatever type of offensive line, that his quarterback can overcome the deficiencies. And that's just not how it always works. Sometimes people catch up to you.
Yeah.
See,
it worked for him for a while.
Now, I was going to speak on that. Like, Kansas City, they got something else they got to worry about. Like, Denver is not the team they was 3-4 years ago. Okay. The Chargers, they're not the team that they was 3-4 years ago. And it looks like the Raiders on paper, they're trying to turn the corner. Like they not just I don't feel like they're just gonna blow through that division. So I agree. Andy Reid and Veach, that's his name, right? The GM?
Yeah, Veach,
Yeah, Veach and Andy, they're gonna have to figure it out. Get Mahomes some talent because I feel like Denver and the Chargers are chipping away at that gap, and depending on how this season go, they might not even be the big dogs in the division no more. You know what I'm saying? We got to see how this shit go. We got to see how Mahomes look. But they the Wolves is at the door. So, they gonna have to figure out something for what's this, year 9 for Mahomes? Year 9, year 10?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so we're on the second half of his career.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, him and Josh Allen are the same age because they got drafted in the same draft. So
yeah, so what y'all gonna do on the second half? So we'll see.
I mean, but I feel like Denver swept them 2 years ago, and then Denver won the division last year, man. Like, I mean, you kind of gotta say, man, Denver is kind of, I I hate to say it, but like Denver is kind of in the driver's seat in that division, man. Everything go through Denver right now, to me. And that might sound crazy, but it's true. I mean, like
So
Denver was the 1 seed last year. Like record wise, they were the best team in the conference in the regular season. And then like I said, 2 years ago, they swept the Chiefs 2 years ago when they went to the playoffs 2 years ago.
So let me ask you this, Mick. Do you look at Denver? Are they the champ in the AFC West, or are they the interim champ? How do you look at them?
I think they're the champ, bro. Like I mean, like
Okay.
they earned that shit last year. Like I said, it's not like they made the playoffs for the first time last year. It's the second year in a row they made the playoffs. They were the 7th seed the first year when they lost to the Bills, and then last year they were the 1 seed when they beat the Bills. So
you believe in Denver?
I don't really believe in Bo Nix. I mean, I believe in Sean Payton though.
Okay. But the team as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, like they got a top 5 defense, bro. Like that. I mean, that's not changing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like they got, and I hate to say it because I mean,
They gonna run the air out that motherfucking ball. They gonna run the air out that ball.
And they also drafted another running back. This is the second year in a row that they've been drafting running backs, and so it's just like they're trying to run the ball, and so and I think they're going to be successful at it. And I mean, Pat Surtain, I mean, you can say what you want, but I mean, Pat is the best corner in the league. I don't think Pat had, like his best year last year, which I think he's going to have a much better year this year. So, but yeah, like that defense is a problem. Like,
yeah,
and you're going to have to deal with it.
And I just feel like the Chargers need to stay healthy.
Yeah, I feel like we say that shit every year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I gotta at least give them the benefit of the doubt. Like they made the playoffs the last 2 years. At some point, they're gonna break through and they're gonna win a playoff game at some point. And you just gotta expect, like at some point, like Herbert. And I'm not the biggest Herbert believer, or whatever, but I just cannot believe that Herbert is gonna continue to not win playoff game. Like he's gonna break through one of these years, and he's gonna win a playoff game. It's just
Is he?
Yeah.
That's a good question, to be honest, though.
I mean, I just can't see him. I just can't see this drought going on, but for so long.
Like never win a playoff game. Like he's gonna win a playoff game, bro, at some point.
Like, where he gonna be like the white tequila spikes?
Hey man, he could be.
That'll be a travesty.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, at some point, he's gonna get in the wild card round and he's gonna get one of the weaker teams. But also I've said on the show before, like to me, the Chargers didn't do themselves no favors. Like the Chargers could improve their position. They chose to play the Patriots. So like they in essence, like got what they deserve. Like they chose that path and they lost. But like I said, at some point you're gonna play a team that you're gonna be that you're gonna be able to beat, or you're gonna be healthy at some point. And Justin Herbert is gonna at some point he's gonna have a good playoff game at some point.
Yeah.
That's just, it's just. You
don't think he played that team yet?
Huh? Nah, I mean, he played us last year. I mean, he played the Texans last year with that defense, and then his first game he played what? The Jaguars, and like the Jaguars weren't a bad team the year he played them. So
but he was up. He was up 4 possessions.
I really ran into the punter, man. Jesus Christ.
He was up 4 possessions.
Yeah, I mean, but like if you talk to Jaguar fans, well, not Jaguar fans, but like Charger fans would tell you that, like they couldn't run the ball, and so I mean like that's why they couldn't hold the lead. I've just come to a point where, man, I'm just not with the excuses no more, man. Like it's you put up or shut up, man. I'm just not with all these excuses. This is why we didn't win. I mean, you can give me context, and context in the sense is an excuse, but at some point you got to get the man. Like I'm just not trying to. I'm not trying to hear, oh, this injury, that injury. Like every team has injuries that they have to persist through, and so you just gotta get the job done. And then that goes for every quarterback, every team, every player.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because I've been on record. You don't heard me in the spaces, Mick. I shoot Herbert a lot of bail, but and I feel like I'm justified in doing so. A lot of seasons we've seen him carry or quote unquote drag that team to the playoffs. And in the playoffs, more times than not, you're going up against the best defenses in your conference.
But I'm
Other quarterbacks do it. You know, like I hate to throw my guy out there, but you know, we had to go up against Fangio and the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, dog. Damn, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I apologize. That's about as good as it gets. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't have his guys, and they figured it out. Now he didn't have like some big, you know, tear them up, shred them up type game, but he did enough. Uh, the team did enough to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I can't shoot on no more bail, man. Like him and Hard.
I'm gonna let
I'm
you
gonna
get
be
it
honest
past
with you, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, there's some bullshit. I'm gonna let you get it past today though.
Uh, man, what are you talking about? Man, I said I did. What did I just did? Mick, didn't you hear me just say my guy didn't go out there and shred them up and all this? I said they figured it out. Didn't you hear me say
We
that?
had we had Kevin we had shit for brains as an offensive coordinator, man.
I
Come on, man. Help
understand
me
that,
out
but
here.
I was talking about quarterbacks with injured offense figuring it out in the playoffs against the better defenses in the conference.
But was his skill players hurt though?
Who?
Herbert. If I remember correct, the only thing he had missing was the line a little bit.
The two tackles. Hampton wasn't particularly like he wasn't 100% in that game. He was just he was just coming back from injury himself. So
I mean, but that's really like six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. You know what I'm saying? Like my guy,
That's
he didn't
like
have
to me that's a
his
you
line
okay.
was
You
there.
had your offensive line, but you didn't have your skill players. It's a little.
Yeah.
I think it's a little different when you got the skill players. You should be able to scheme that up a little bit. We know the offensive line is struggling. Justin, we're gonna need you to get the ball out a little quicker. I guess you're gonna get that with Mike McDaniels,
but the point I was getting at, Harbaugh gonna have to figure something out, dog.
he brought in his Mike McDaniels.
Yeah, because I have like Justin Herbert is the same quarterback that he was his rookie year. So Harbaugh gonna have to figure something out, man. You know, like he gets all of this credit, all these badges, you know, QB whisperer, he builds Ross's this and that. And I ain't man, the Chargers look exactly the same.
The Chargers are the Chargers, man, at this point.
Yeah, and also he going on his fourth year there, and I get it. Like they made the playoffs multiple years.
Oh, yeah, this is his fourth season, ain't it?
But at some point, man, you got to get a win. And I mean, he's got playoff wins under his belt, like other stops. But you've got to get one at some point. Like if I was a fan, I'd be like, man, like you got to give us something more than just these 10, 11 wins.
His first year there, they didn't make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I mean they didn't make it, but the last two they made it, and they flamed out in the wild card. I go to my point, like at some point, like you've got to, I got to have some you got to give me a win somewhere. Pretty much what I'm saying.
Good, what's good, Tom? He said, "What is Aaron Rodgers' excuse? One Super Bowl, Aaron choked Rodgers, but that network loves to call him a bad man."
I mean, and you're never gonna hear me argue with that point.
I mean, like,
Aaron definitely should have had more, but
come on, bro. Let's not turn our nose up to one Super Bowl. Like let's not act like Super Bowls grow on trees.
I'm not gonna say
let's
I
not
think he
be
should have had more though, because Aaron to me is
like
one of the most talented throwers of the ball I've seen.
Yeah, so say the Steelers don't win a Super Bowl this year, which I don't expect them to, right? And he ends his career with one Super Bowl. Like I think people are gonna consider that to be like an underachievement. I just think that's just what it is,
bro.
And
I feel like ring culture has completely tainted shit. I apologize again. Like one Super Bowl is underachievement. One.
I mean, if you're supposed to be a top 5 quarterback of,
he must have been
bro. You know how many quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame that has none?
Yeah, but if you look at who I mean, people putting a top 5 quarterbacks, right? Most of your top 5 quarterbacks have multiple rings, from Brady to Montana to Mahomes is in that discussion now, being in the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Like most of those guys have multiple Super Bowl rings. That's all I'm saying. So,
man, come on.
Even your guy got multiple, man.
Who?
Joe.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, but hold on, sir. That's the conversation they want him in, though. They want him in the Montanas, the Brady's,
Oh,
the Mahomes. They're saying he's one of the greatest, but you only got one.
He's one of the best. He's not one of the greatest.
You didn't even will your team to like a Super Bowl when they were a down year and go lose.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. If we're just talking about quarterback play, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback I've ever seen in my life, and I saw Montana and Steve Young. He is, as far as everything that the quarterback is, as far as pre-snap, post-snap, arm talent, arm strength, uh, manipulating the defense, reading the defense, like all of that, vision, all of that, just wrapped up into in a ball. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback that I've ever seen in my life, but he's not the greatest.
But yeah, but like my whole point is when people make these top 5 lists of all time, a lot of people put him in the top 5, and for me, if you in the top 5 and you just have one Super Bowl, man, I gotta say that's an underachievement.
But you don't think? I think a lot of people agree with my analogy. Like he might be the best guy we've ever seen play the position, but he's not the greatest. You don't think somebody that like if people consider him the best quarterback they've ever seen, you don't think he deserves to be in that conversation with the greatest? Not at the top, but in somewhere at the bottom.
I think when we get in that conversation, sir, we start talking about those games where he was going in as the favorite, the better team, and he choked.
Well, yeah, I mean, the team didn't win.
See, but I feel like this is where things get a little tricky. All right, because I saw Elway get embarrassed twice. I don't remember the Giants Super Bowl, but I remember the 49ers and the Redskins Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I saw him get embarrassed.
Yeah, I think
But
every Super Bowl he lost, man. It was them.
yeah, he was 0-3.
Yeah.
Until he got Terrell Davis, and he went back to back, and then Manning went to 4 Super Bowls, and he pissed down his legs all 4.
Yeah, I mean
he was awful.
Yeah, I mean he really didn't have a good performance in any Super Bowl that he played in.
But because he got 2 of them, because of the defense, Bob Sanders and Von Miller, and Bob on the Colts and Von on Denver, because the defense pretty much carried him across the finish line. He's in the conversation. So I just feel like, I don't know, man, like this conversation get a little tricky sometimes.
I don't know. It's just, to me, when I look at some of the statistical moments in those games, and Aaron Rodgers completed 52% of his passes, like, you can't go into a playoff game versus a underachieving team and go throw 52% and lose your team in the game against the Bears.
And so I mean, what I also say is, I'm not saying that he don't deserve to be in the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. If you want to put him there, that's fine. I can't argue with you if you want to put him there. But all I'm saying, once you put him there, you look at the other guys and he only got 1 ring. I just think some people would think he should have achieved more in his career.
All right, well, let me ask this, right? So we all agree Peyton Manning has been awful in the Super Bowl.
No, playoffs in general, yeah.
Yeah, but he got 2 of them.
Yeah.
All right. Aaron Rodgers wasn't spectacular in his Super Bowl, but he was very good.
Well, yeah, I mean, didn't he win the MVP in the Super Bowl that he won?
I think that was Desmond Howard.
Nah, that was with Brett Favre.
Oh, that was Brett Favre. Yeah. Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay. So how do you rank those 2? Like, one guy has 1, but he was real good. The other guy has 2, but he stunk up the spot.
See, I feel like Aaron Rodgers, like if I'm making my top 5 list, to me, Aaron Rodgers would be above, Peyton Manning to me.
Okay.
Because I'm not big on Peyton Manning, man. Like I'm just not. Like I just.
When we talk about regular season quarterbacks, I have Peyton Manning as one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks in the history of football. When we talk about playoffs, I got him as one of the biggest chokers in football.
Yeah, but what if we talk about all inclusive?
Obviously we're gonna get to a conversation where I call him a choker because that's what he did in the playoffs majority of the time.
And so that's why I got to say that I got to put Aaron, because Aaron Rodgers was just as good as a regular season quarterback as Peyton Manning.
They're not far apart from me though, Mick.
Yeah.
I mean, they both got 4 MVPs, right?
Yeah. We both got 4. Well, Peyton might have 5. They had 5 or 4.
I thought it was 4.
They're not far away from me though. What's up, Pop? My bad.
Yeah, but I just got Rodgers better than Manning though, to me personally.
It's a close argument, you know what I mean? And the only reason I guess that's so close. I'm gonna give Peyton a nod just a little bit.
Yeah, I just can't do that.
I'm gonna give Peyton a nod a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But it's a good conversation. I mean, people good once Aaron retires, they're gonna have that conversation. Who's better, Rodgers or Manning? That's a conversation that they're. I mean,
I feel like Rodgers be choking in the playoffs too, though. You know what I mean? I think he a big choker too.
The only thing I say about I feel like Rodgers don't.
He got 21 playoff games and 1 Super Bowl. Like,
yeah, but I also feel like Rodgers don't have as many like one and dones as Peyton Manning does, though.
I see now. I wouldn't categorize Rodgers as a choker. I just feel like he left a lot of meat on the bone. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of throws. He was a little too cautious. I get it. You don't want to put the ball in harm's way, but it's win or go home, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't go home with bullets in the chamber. You can't.
Yeah,
you understand? Like you got to empty the magazine. This the playoffs. You have to empty the magazine, dog. You can't go home with 3-4 bullets in the magazine. You can't do that.
Yeah, but a lot of times with these quarterbacks and these elite quarterbacks, that's what they end up doing in the playoffs. I mean, sad to say, but that's kind of what it is. I mean, I feel the same way about Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, bro, he has a lot of.
He said he taking Stafford over Manning. I mean, over Rodgers.
Stafford only got 1 Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
I don't know.
All right, bro. Let's not be disrespectful. Okay. like I get it. I don't know. I don't know who you talking to or what messages you reading, but let's not be disrespectful.
Tom said he taking Stafford.
And he's talking out his hind parts. Okay.
Tim and Stafford got
the Super Bowl. Shout out to my granny. Okay.
Stafford don't got a Super Bowl MVP, does he?
No, he does not.
Yes, I don't.
And he just got a regular season MVP.
Man,
like, come on! I really don't get what you're saying. So I'm not even gonna say I get what you're saying. Stafford just changed the narrative on his name, like 2 years ago.
No, I mean he changed the narrative of his name last year when he got that MVP. Really, I mean, I guess you could say the Super Bowl, but he really that's one of his best accolades is getting that regular season MVP.
I'll give him 2024. That's like you're not gonna sit here and tell me that you gave me 13 years of ass play, majority ass play for 13 years, and then all of a sudden you have 2 spectacular seasons and you catapult over somebody like Aaron Rodgers. Come on, bro. Let's not be ridiculous here.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is just a better, he's had the better career, man. Like he never had a stretch where his teams weren't making the playoffs, man. And I mean, like, sadly to say, and then you can say that's because Stafford played with the Lions, but it was what it was. I mean, he wasn't he was on bad teams and he wasn't elevating them teams. Where Rodgers, for the most part, he's not consecutively missed the playoffs. Like he's missed it 1 year here, 1 year there, but. So I just can't put. I mean, Stafford would have to win another Super Bowl. Now, if he won another Super Bowl and then he won Super Bowl MVP, I guess you can have a discussion. I still wouldn't put him above, Aaron Rodgers though. That's just me though. And I mean, I don't even like Rodgers like that. Like I'm not a Rodgers.
I'm not putting Stafford in front of Rodgers, bro. It's not even an argument. That's not even a conversation to me. I'm sorry.
I mean, because if you think about it, Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think Stafford's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he gets in, but he's not first ballot.
I think Stafford might be in the Eli Manning type of situation, where he might have to wait one or two go around before, you know what I mean, he get put on top.
I mean, I can see that too.
It's just so many bad seasons. Like, I know sports talk want to erase the Detroit Lions years from Stafford's career, but we remember him as real sports fans. Those are some sad seasons we watched.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't get rid of them years. I mean, like them years happen. So
Yeah, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, dog. Come on, like let's not do that. And more than half of his time in Detroit, he had Calvin Johnson. Okay, and they played in a dome. Like, come on, dog. Let's be reputable.
Yeah.
Okay, come on now. Like, cut that out.
And for me, like I like Stafford. Obviously, Stafford went to Georgia, man. Like that's my guy. But I mean, like, I've got to be credible, and I just cannot say he's better than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he'd have to get another two. To me, he'd have to get 2 more Super Bowls, man, to even have that discussion.
I need 2 more Super Bowls and another league MVP type shit. And then we can have a conversation, and I'm still probably going to put Rodgers in front of him.
Yeah, and I think my major issue, though, is that even if he wins, like, let's say the Rams win the Super Bowl this year, right? But if the reason for that is because Aaron Donald comes back, and it's the defense, are you really going to give him a bunch of credit for that?
I don't know, man. But since we talking about defense, J-Mick.
Yeah, man.
Let's get into it, man. J-Mick, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Your list is on the board.
Yeah, so let me go over the buys first. For me, the buys was easy, man. I'm buying Will Anderson. I mean, if we was at the casino, and I came to the casino with 10 grand, and then I'm putting 10 grand on black for me, Will, man, because I think he got a chance to be Defensive Player of the Year this year, man. Like, with that defense that he's on, it's not like you can't just double and triple him, because you have Danielle Hunter on the other side. And they drafted kid Kaden McDonald out of Ohio State. I believe Rankins came back, I believe. So it's like that they might have one of the best D lines in football. So it's not like you could just double and triple team him. And you've seen what he was doing in the playoffs last year to the Steelers and the Patriots. I mean, I can see him getting 16, 17 sacks this year, man. And I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to do that. So I mean, I expect a really good year out of him. He just got paid, so if he doesn't have any motivation other than winning the Super Bowl, he wants to prove why he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Because I think he's making like $50 million or something like that, 49 or 50, something. It's something crazy. So I think he's going to prove a lot of people that I'm worth this money, and that he going to be that guy. The defense, I mean, we were talking about it earlier with the whole Chiefs and the Broncos. I mean, it kind of leads into my next thing about the Broncos defense. I feel as if they're going to have, if not the same kind of year that they had last year. Like I think the coverage is there. I mean, they have the edge rushers. And when we talk about fantasy, for me, fantasy is all about points. And so as a defense, and it's not only just about not giving up actual points in games, but it's also about interceptions, sacks, and turnovers. And I feel like the Broncos are going to give you a good amount of sacks. I mean, with the secondary that they do have, I think you'll get a good amount of interceptions. I don't think they're going to lead the league in interceptions or like that, but I think I think they could get about 8 or 9 to maybe 10. Picks on the year, so they should be able to do that. And so I feel as if by the end of the year, like they're going to be a top 5 fantasy defense. So yeah, I mean, like those are my 2 buys.
With Will Anderson, man, I really like dude. I think every dollar that he got paid was worth it. He really does take the bull by the horns when it comes to that defensive line. He is the leader in that room. He is the guy, and I can agree, bro. I think he will be somewhere between like 13 and 18 sacks this season. Um, I think he's going to be a very good buy for somebody in this IDP situation. With the Broncos, I think they have a well-rounded defense. They kind of hit every point you need from the three levels of the defense. Then they have a nice secondary. Their linebacker play as well, and they have a really talented defensive line that can get at the quarterback. That's the success for the Broncos, man. That's the basis of what they do, man. They're gonna attack with the defense, and let the offense keep them in the game. You know what I mean? Well, keep them clean in the game. Um, and that's definitely what you want out of a great defense. Limit the offense of the other team, and then hope your offense can play complementary. So yes, I do agree with the Broncos. Bye.
Oh, we got some breaking news for the Niners. Apparently, Kyle Shanahan has suffered significant injuries in a car accident.
Oh no.
This just dropped 2 minutes ago from Schefter. Says Shanahan broke his nose, three ribs, his hand, and needs over 40 stitches in his face.
Damn.
And he suffered a severe concussion during a this happened a while ago. It's just coming out now though, during a July 14th car accident where he collided with an SUV near his Northern California home. So I mean, prayers go up to the coach, man. I mean, like some people don't like Kyle, but man, like you don't want to see many people in serious in the car accidents, man.
Man, he tough, right? He be alright.
I mean, car accidents is tough, man. Like I actually know someone that got into a car accident. I mean, a couple years ago, like her back is still not the same. It'll never be the same. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough, man. Like, yeah, I mean, I hope it makes a full recovery, man. It's just like I mean, it's the human aspect of football where, I mean, like you don't really want people to get hurt in terms of like car accidents and I mean stuff like that. So,
Luckily, he ain't got to go out there and play because if he did, but it
Yeah.
might be a little different.
yeah.
I mean, go ahead, walk it off, dog. He'll be alright. Drink some
Nah, just give him
ginger
a
ale.
little chill, a little sideline
A
chill.
little ginger ale, though. He'll be alright.
That man said ginger ale. That's crazy.
No. Prayers up to the coach, man.
I mean, for black
Um,
man, I mean, I'm ginger real. I mean, solves all, man.
that's the magic elixir right there, brother.
Ginger ale is medicine, man.
Yeah,
Let's
man. Go
that's that.
go on, take that ginger ale. Go sit down, take a nap. There it is. But listen, man. Getting back to Will Anderson. Uh, Look, right now in July of 2026, if you ask me, is there a defensive lineman that I want? Give me Will Anderson, and I'm taking him over Miles Garrett right now. That's just how I feel. I feel like he is a Tasmanian devil, man. Like he is all gas, no brakes. I know for a fact I'm gonna get 110% from him every single snap. Not every game, but every snap. Like he takes no plays off. And y'all both know how I feel about pressures. I feel like it's an overrated stat. Will Anderson's pressures produces things. Okay. Will Anderson's pressures produces speeding up the quarterback. It produces fumbles. It produces bad passes. It produces interceptions. It produces the quarterback rolling out into another defender. Okay. That boy is a menace. I was 100% wrong on him. I thought that he was just going to be a situational guy. I say he was too light. Man, he looks like Captain America right now, man. Okay, he went from Tony Stark's to Thor in like 3 seasons. He looked like a beanpole when he first got drafted. Man, he looks inhuman right now. How big that dude is. You know what I'm saying? And he hasn't lost any speed. His get off is insane.
and he's strong as an ox. And it's like he ain't even peaked yet, man. He ain't even close. He about 3-4 years from his prime.
Yeah, cause
I
he,
I I think Will Anderson is awesome, man. I
yeah,
do.
he's on like 24, I think 24, 25, something like that.
Yeah.
What you got to say about the Broncos defense, man?
I feel like Broncos the top three defense. Um, all in all, I will put Houston above them, and they are 2 and 3, depending on how you feeling, with Seattle. But they're definitely top three in my book.
All right, so I mean, so I'm now gonna go my sell side. I'm selling Odafe Owe. He was what leaving the Chargers, and I think he signed with the Commanders, I believe. Um, I mean, he got a lot of money from the command. I think he got like 25 per, which I think was a kind of a lot. And I mean, he was really successful in Jesse Minter's system. But the problem is obviously Minter left and went to the Ravens, and he left and went to the Commanders. So he's going to be playing under a Dan Snyder sort of system. So I don't think the production that he had last year is going to show itself, because I mean, you also remember when he was drafted by the Ravens, and he didn't have the production like he had with the Chargers until he got under Jesse Minter's defense. So that's why I'm selling. I just don't see it. In terms of a fantasy perspective, I mean, for me to want to play like a defensive lineman, I'm gonna need sacks, because I mean, like, these guys are not gonna get a lot of tackles. So I mean, the majority of your points when you're playing like an edge is sacks, and I just don't see the sack production. I don't think he gets to 10 sacks. Like, I see him around 7, 8 sacks. And to me, there's just a lot of other guys that I could play or that I could choose from that's gonna get me around that 10 sack mark. And he's just not one of them guys. And as far as the defense goes, I'm selling the Chargers. I do think the Chargers defense is going to be good, but I do think they're going to take a step back. I think with Jesse Minter not being there, I think that's a big downgrade for the defense. I forgot who's taking over as a DC. I'm not really sure. It's not just losing Owe. Like they lost a couple other guys too. And then I think they re-signed. Khalil Mack, but like Khalil Mack is getting kind of long in the tooth for me. So I just see a regression. Like I don't see as many sacks as they got last year. I think and without the pressures, I think it's going to be hard for them to generate as many turnovers as they generated last year. I don't think they give up a whole bunch of points, but like we were talking, like I said, we're talking about a fantasy perspective. Like that's how defenses get a lot of points, is like I said earlier, 3 ways: like sacks, interceptions, or turnovers. And like not getting a bunch of points. And so for me, like in terms of a fantasy perspective, like I've got them kind of in the 12 to 15 rank range, and so that's why I'm selling on them.
Um, with Owe, it's a little situation, right? He obviously, I think he could improve, um, in a situation, but I'm not sure yet. You know what I mean? I gotta see the progression from him on this Ravens roster with, obviously Trey Henderson coming in, adding an extra depth on that defensive line, which to me would have been better if it was the first guy they traded for, but neither here nor there. Um, but I want to see with the Chargers. I think we had the same conversation about the defense season in, season out. You know what I mean? We had the same conversations. The same kind of guys to me stand out for that defense. I love Derwin James. I think their best defensive lineman is at the latter end of his career in Khalil Mack. Like I don't know. I think they're gonna be decent, but I would agree with the sell. Certified, you touching on Odafe Owe?
Um, I pretty much agree with what a lot of J Nick said. Like, I think he's a good player. I think he's a guy. I don't think he's the guy. And um, I like Dan Quinn. I think he's one of the great defensive minds that I've come across in my long time watching football. I'm not going to say that he's not going to be. I got to see it first. I got to see it. I'm skeptical. Okay, so I'm leaning towards him being a guy, not the guy on that defensive line with the Commanders. In my opinion, is one of their holes on their team defensive line. Plus, they got quite a few young guys behind him, namely Sonny Styles. I like Trey Amos, but I don't know, man. They paid him a lot of money. The type of money that they paid him, they're looking for him. You know, 10 sacks should be the floor. I'm not saying that he needs to get 16, but you at least got to get 10 in 17 games if he plays all 17 with the type of money that they paying him. I'm skeptical. I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm just skeptical. And as far as the Chargers, man, um, they're a little long in the tooth, man. Like Mick said, it's time to either piss or get off the pot. Because you can't keep recycling these same players. And I know that Khalil, he took a little pay cut so he can come back and all that, but you know that ain't taking a pay cut ain't making the team better. Like they got to figure out they gonna have to figure it out, man. Because Spagnolia, we can't question him until he falters. And what's the black guy in Denver name? He got them boys playing like their hair on fire. You understand what I'm saying? So Chargers gonna have to figure something out, man, because they got two big dogs in their division, not just the conference, but in their division. They're gonna have to figure it out.
All right, sir. You want to go next?
No, no, go. You go next.
Okay, I'll go next. All right, so my buys, I have Edrin Cooper for Green Bay. Started playing really good football down the stretch last year. I think him with an improved role. Uh, Obviously, new DC coming in, but I think him with a new role, I think he's going to be able to impact. He's going to start showing up on a lot of plays, man. He was very impactful in Green Bay's defense where Micah went down last year, being able to make some of those tackles. And I think if the new DC comes in and plays it right, I think you can also have Edrin Cooper as a heavy blitz guy on the defensive side for the Green Bay Packers. They need somebody that can bring some impact, and I think he's the guy, man. He has shown a little bit of growth over obviously the first year he was kind of filling it out. Second year showed a lot of growth in how he plays, his impact, his ball knowledge, getting to the ball, stopping the run. Playing really, really, really good. My buy for the team, obviously my team, I took the Eagles. I think bringing in Tariq Woolen in that secondary to improve what you had, um, I think that's a great improvement. You're gonna get better play on that edge, and then you bring in Jonathan Grenard defensively to help you out, man, on the edge to give us a solidified edge rusher to get some impact back in the backfield, man. I think this year, with a little bit more help from some guys that are new to the roster, I think it's definitely going to be a better pass defense than we were last season, and I think we're going to get at the quarterback at a higher level than we did last season too, man. Then we obviously brought in those two guys, but I think with those two guys, it kind of fills out the holes we had last season. So I think the Eagles defense this year will be improved. We will still be considered a top 5 defense, but I think we'll be stronger in some of the weaker areas we had last season.
I guess I could comment. When it comes to Adrian Cooper playing like linebacker for the Packers, like I think with a lot of the losses that team took, um, from a fantasy perspective, like I think he's going to give you a lot of tackles. They're going to send him on some blitzes. So I mean, like hopefully he can get home, on the blitzes that he's sent on. And I mean he's able to produce. I mean to me, like that defense is really depending on him a lot because of the players that they lost. And so in situations like that in fantasy, that's kind of what you're looking for. And I think he should be from a fantasy perspective, like I said, like I think he should be able to put up a good amount of, tackles and like in sacks and stuff like that. And so that should make him worth the while. Um, Eagles, like to me, like they have motivated players on their team. I mean, you know, so I mean, like when you're talking about Jalen Carter's looking for a contract. So I mean, to me, he's gonna play. He's gonna play at a somewhat motivated level. And then you also have Jordan Davis, who some could say who's coming off one of his best seasons. I mean, so I think those two guys in the middle could I mean, create like a lot of havoc for teams. And I mean, like like they have the chance to get to the quarterback a bunch. I mean, like like the edge rushers on the Eagles do kind of give me some concern. Um, so I mean, like for like I'm buying the Eagles defense just for the simple fact that I believe there's going to be enough interior pressure where it's going to give the guys on the outside, I mean, one-on-one, opportunities, and they just got to win those opportunities. And like I also like the Eagles secondary. I mean, the Eagles have good linebackers and a good secondary. So I think that's going to contribute, I mean, to them being a top 10 fantasy defense.
Yeah, my bad. Um, I like the Adrian Cooper pick. Um, I feel like uh I feel like he's going to benefit with the upgrades that Green Bay has been doing over the last 2 3 seasons. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. He's going to establish himself as one of the better linebackers in the league. Um, Roquan Smith, man. Uh, I'm on the fence with that one. They got Jesse Mentors. Um, he's
I
supposed to
only
be
did the
like,
buys, sir. I only did the buys.
oh, okay, my bad, my bad. I mean, well, the Eagles. I mean, you know, y'all know how I feel, man. The Eagles got the best roster in the league. You know what I'm saying? And they got the Mr. Brainiac. What? Goodness gracious, what's my man? What's your defensive coordinator name?
Vic
Fangio.
Fangio.
They Fangio with the Fangio system. You know what I'm saying? So you can't never leave the Eagles out, unless they playing Brock Purdy. But listen, that's a different conversation for another day. You understand what I'm saying? I expect the Eagles. I think the Eagles I think the Eagles going to terrorize the AFC East, man. I really do. I think the only pushback they're going to get is probably from Dallas, but he got all his guys back. They brought in a very capable cornerback from Seattle with Woolen, um, Fangio. Um, he he ain't gonna be there much longer. Okay, I think he gonna dial it up. I think the Eagles might be. They'll be all right. I ain't gonna hype them up. They'll be all right.
Pop,
What up? What up?
what's good? What's good? You
Mm,
want to touch on the buys or
yeah. So, for your buy with Edrin Cooper, I like it, especially for IDP. I really like his tackling. I like the uptick potential with him also, and potential sacks and blitz packages and shooting gaps and stuff like that. Um, but if you just you looking for like a really safe option because some of the premier um, edges or linebackers have been taken. I like Adrian Cooper. I will take Andrew Cooper. He's a guy I would look at for IDP. Um and Eagles. This is interesting. Because you guys weren't bad defensively last year, but you also weren't that good at certain things. I do think you guys can be better, especially with some of the talent that you were able to bring in through the draft. Um, so I'll take a flyer on you guys for if I'm doing total team defense in a redraft. You're a team that I'll probably have in like my top 5. I'm looking at defensively if I want to take. Um, because I do think there's a good boom, like high boom potential with the Eagles defense. Still a little bit of question marks, but because you get guys did have some pieces leave. I think a lot of it was rotational guys. You did have like maybe 1 or 2 starters leave though through free agency. So
Yeah, we
see
had
how that works out.
1.5 because the line
Yeah,
stay hurt, but yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So but I think you guys have been doing really a good job with kind of retooling at times. So yeah, I do like the Eagles boom potential in fantasy.
help in the chat. Should I trade Sam Laporta for Lad McConkey and Sadiq?
Listen, you better do it now.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good trade because I mean, thing about Laporta was he had a neck injury, and I'm always kind of worried about guys in the NFL that get neck injuries, man. Like, so I mean, if you can get a younger tight end and a wide receiver, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
his back actually. So
I agree with that, man. I think Selling Porter is one of the he's one of the top talented tight ends in the league, but just looking at the situation that he's in, we're talking fantasy. He doesn't get the volume that a Lad McConkey is going to get. You know, he's behind um, Saint Brown and what's the running back's name?
he
Hampton.
no Gibbs
Oh,
Gibbs,
okay,
and
yeah.
then they also
and JMO.
Jameson Jamo
Mm-hmm.
stepped it up last year. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like he's at best he's third on the list. Lad gonna get them targets, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I just heads up. I like that, and then you throw in Sadiq as a sweetener. Yeah, hop on that, dog. Pause.
Super pause. All right. So,
Super Bowl is crazy.
super pause. All right, sales. I got Roquan Smith, man. I think over the past few seasons, man, his production has just been going the opposite way. Obviously, his age is a factor, but his play just hasn't been the same. He hasn't been as dynamic as he was a few seasons ago, man, when he came to the Ravens. I think he's still a decent player, but I don't think he bolsters your defense and makes them so much better when you're talking about IDP. So I have him as my sell. For the Tampa Bay defense, I just think I don't know, man. It feels like yes, they got one of my favorite players in Ruben Bain out of that draft, but I feel like they still got some places where they need some help. And I think those places could be affected when you have, a team like the Saints who are finding their footing. You got obviously certified told y'all last week. Tua in that offense and Atlanta might be able to find their footing. So it's one of those situations where I just think Tampa is in a tricky situation where they could be a good defense, but right now I'm selling.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think it's a lot of unknowns defensively with them. Um specifically that linebacker group, I think has really been something that has not. They've tried to address it, but it hasn't worked out, which is why Levante David, who has been literally the face of that linebacking group for quite some time, was kind of held on to longer than I believe that they should have. And they did bring in Alex Anzalone in free agency. I don't believe they drafted a linebacker in this previous draft class. So they've tried to address some of the defensive positions. I know they brought in Al Muhammad, who was a former Lions D end. Also, you then add Ruben Bain to that front. You're getting, I believe it was Canty that got hurt last year. He's going to be back healthy. You have a young defensive core as well, but I do like Parrish going into year two, Morrison going into year two, Zion McCullum, who's, I believe, in his third year with the team. Um, him going into year three. I think he had a really down season last year. So for him to bounce back and to see if they've addressed the quarterback, because I believe Morrison might be the one. So who's going to be quarterback two for them? So yeah, I would sell on them. This is not a defense I'm looking at to initially draft and redraft. If they happen to be one of the teams, they probably will be the better of the team defenses that are left. And so I might take them there. But if I'm looking at defense and all the defenses still are there, Tampa Bay is not a team I will be looking to grab at this moment, because you just don't know what the production is going to be to start off with. And Roquan Swift, yeah, I'm fading him in IDP as well. I'll be looking at other guys. I'll probably look at rookies over him. Other linebackers that I feel like will have better production. Um, I think you can expect better out of that Ravens defense as a whole with Minter there. You're hoping it's not going to be as bad as it was, because it can't get any worse with Zach Orr. So you do expect an uptick in production out of that unit, but Roquan himself kind of has been on a downturn for me for a couple of seasons now. So I'll be fading him in IDP.
Pop, just for clarification, they did take a linebacker in the second round. They took Josiah Trotter out of Missouri.
Oh yeah. For some reason, I thought the Falcons drafted him. But no, I like Josiah Trotter. So we'll see how that works out, because Todd Bowles is still there, and that has been a gripe for a lot of that fan base and his defensive play calling. So we'll see if there's a turnaround with that.
So Roquan, to me, I think Roquan is Roquan didn't have a great year last year. I'm not selling on Roquan, but I'm not buying neither. Like, he's one of those guys that I put on a watch list when it comes to fantasy in terms of like defensive players. To me, his success is going to depend on Madubuike and how, if Madubuike comes back and how effective Madubuike is. Because if Madubuike can take up space and keep, like the linebackers clean, then I think Roquan can have a bounce back year. Because anytime we're talking about linebackers and fantasy, it's really about tackles. Like, it's about tackles. And with the occasional interception that you might get or whatever, for him playing middle linebacker, like, I just can't count on him getting a bunch of sacks. He might get a sack here, a sack there, but what I'm really counting on is the tackles. And so, like I said, like, I think if Madubuike is back to what he was, then I think Roquan could have a bounce back year. But if Madubuike doesn't come back or isn't the player that he was, then I think it's going to be hard for Roquan to return back to form. So I'll say about that. So like I said, I'm not selling them, but I'm not buying them either. I'm more taking a watch and wait approach to Roquan and see exactly how he plays. Now Tampa Bay, I don't think they're going to be a top 10 fantasy defense. To me, like, I don't love their secondary, and I did like their draft, But like if I'm depending on a bunch of younger players, especially rookies, like I just don't know if I can count on that. And when it comes to team defense, like I said, it's repetitive. Like I'm looking at turnovers. I'm looking at turnovers and sacks. Um, and so I just don't know. I mean, like Ruben Bain, like I feel like he got a steal in the draft, and I feel like he get 9 to 10 sacks. But it's just like from the other players on the team, like where is all the other sack production going to come from? Um, and I just don't know. And then like last year, if you look at the Bucks, like I believe they were top 5 in giving up the most explosive plays. And so when you're talking about fantasy defenses, like I'm gonna need a defense that's preventing teams from scoring, not giving up a bunch of points. Because if the team defense you're playing gives up a bunch of points, it's gonna kill the points that you're gonna get from that defense. So, I mean, for all those reasons, man, I would definitely sell on the Tampa Bay defense.
Certified.
Yeah, the Roquan thing, man. I agree with what you were saying when you initially spoke on it. I just don't know. He's not a big guy, you know. And his style of play. I don't know how long. I don't know how long he can do this, and he's already on a decline. I'm gonna hold off on the sale because again, um, Jesse Mentors, everybody seems to love this guy. Roquan Smith is one of the great linebackers of this generation. So I don't want to just write him off. But as far as IDP, uh, I don't know. I'll sell him on that aspect. Yeah. But you know what? I'm on the fence, man. I'm on the fence because I'm not. I gotta see how they're gonna use them and how Mentis is gonna use the guys in front of them. Because i- if if he could scheme up the defensive tackles, preventing offensive linemen getting to the next level, putting a helmet on Roquan, he might have a pretty decent season, man. He's an aggressive player. He likes to play downhill, so in the right system, he can rack up the tackles. Now, as far as like sacks and interceptions, I don't know, but he can get you a consistent, 10, 11 tackles a game. Now as far as Tampa Bay, I uh I don't know, man. I think it's time to put a fork in these boys, man. They've been in top of the division for a while, and I feel like uh everybody in the division is kind of like closing the gap. Mainly the Saints. I know Tampa. Carolina. They got some real bad injuries this all season and in the playoffs. So and Atlanta, man, they always got talent, but I just don't think they did enough. Vita, he getting up there in age. I'm not sure. I don't like the Bain pick. To draft him that high. You're looking at him to be the guy. I just don't. I don't see he's too tall, and I don't see the athleticism at the next level. I'm definitely without a doubt selling on Tampa Bay. I don't like nothing over there except for Vita. To be honest with you, I don't.
All right, so who want to go next, Sir or Pop?
I can go next. Um. So yeah, my guy. In the words of my illustrious co-host, who isn't present right now, Sexy Dexy. I feel like he got a new lease on life. We already know what he can be when he's healthy. He's an absolute menace. I feel like a change of scenery, but I don't feel like it's a lot around him. But I feel like for what they need him to be, he is the guy. When he's healthy, he's the best nose tackle in the league, and it's not close in my opinion. So I expect him to have that the season that he had in New York like 2 years ago. Was it 2 3 years ago? When he had like 10 sacks by week 12 or something like that. I fully expect him to bounce back and have an amazing season. I pick my guys as far as like team defense. Um, uh, just simply because right now we're healthy. I do like the addition of Romello Height. Um, we picked up another. I forgot the guy's name. It was a late round pick, but Ryan Morris has been raving about him. I think they're going to try to mix him in at the star position. He's like 6'5". He's not that fast, but he's played safety in high school. He plays linebacker right now. We got Dre Greenlaw back. Fred is healthy. Bose is healthy. Markel Williams is healthy. I expect Alfred Collins and both CJ West to build on the season that they had last year. Upton Stout. Um, yeah, he might be my best cornerback. And I really like Diamador Lenore and Green. But the way that he played last year, I expect him to take a step forward. And he's also been rumored to slip into the free safety position. So the way that Raheem Morris likes to run his defense, he really like I would label him something as far as like a chameleon. He doesn't have like a set defense. He'll play some man, he'll play some zone, he'll be blitz heavy, man zone, zone blitz. You know what I'm saying? I really love his versatility. This isn't his first time with Kyle Shanahan. He actually started his career with Kyle as an offensive coach. So I really like the fact that he started on the offensive side of the ball, learning the rules of offenses, and then he switched over to defense, bringing that knowledge, the different rules. Kyle talks all the time about coaches that there are certain rules to the offenses that pretty much is universal. So he understands that language. And I fully believe with this bunch of talent, he's going to use his knowledge to attack offenses. And like I said, we drafted Romello Height. Um, I, I, I'm still up in the air on him. He a little light. He can be um, a liability in the run. But the boy is fast as greased lightning, man. So I'm ready to see what he can do coming off the edge in passing situations, first and second down. But we'll see. But I'm excited about the defense just being healthy, getting all my guys back.
Hey man, how y'all doing?
What's good, Dre?
My fault. I'm a little late today. It's my grandma's birthday today, so we were celebrating a little bit. But since I wasn't here, did you guys
Uh,
talk about this
Happy birthday, Grandma
Shanahan?
Dre.
I appreciate it, man. Did y'all talk about this breaking Shanahan news from
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
earlier?
yeah, we got that already, bro. Moving
Yeah.
on.
No, because I was gonna say it actually, like, to your point that you're making with Raheem and familiarity there. It helps when you have that, especially when you have a situation like that going on. Guys you can depend on, and not a guy that you have to build chemistry with because it's already kind of there. So I think that's a positive also. But
You
yeah,
want
no,
to
I
touch on
think
the
your
buys?
defense is really good.
You already here?
I mean, Dexter Lawrence. I think Dexter Lawrence can have a good season. I don't know how that translates for fantasy production, so I don't know if I would buy him as a
Well,
fantasy guy.
certified
But
said 10, maybe somewhere around 10 sacks.
Yeah, but the tackles is my thing. Like I don't think he's gonna get a whole lot of tackles. That's why I would probably not buy Dexter. But I do think Dexter has a great season, and I could see like if depending on the scoring in your league, if you have like a high reward for sacks in your league, then yeah, maybe. But
Do they
I
have
don't know.
sacks? Do they have leagues that give points for pressures?
I mean, they might.
Not as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it, but
It'll have to be probably something that's specific for the league that does run IDP, and they add that as a scoring option. But it's not a typical scoring option when
Okay.
people are running IDP.
All right. Well, with that said, I want to apologize to everybody. I was thinking more so football than I understood the excitement, but my mind wandered a little bit. So I probably shouldn't have picked Dexter Lawrence.
I mean, but
I'm buying his season though. I agree with you as far as like buying him as. But I think he has a great season this year.
yeah, I was gonna say like if Dexter Lawrence has 10 sacks, then it's gonna be worth it. Then
But are you cool with 10 sacks for a IDP player?
if he's yeah, I mean like if you're picking a defensive lineman, like yeah, I mean obviously like, you would want like an edge,
Yeah.
but
No, I mean, if he was an edge, would you be cool with 10 sacks?
I mean it's all right. I
Yes.
would want a guy that would get you more than 10, but I mean you know I mean 10 is like 10 would be worth your while. I'll say it like that. Like but if a dude's getting like 7, 8, like anything below 10, I'd be like nah, I gotta sell on that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, but you also like I think Dexter he could also get you some things with like his tackle for loss, stuff like that. So there's other things outside of sacks that he might be able to um score you some points in IDP.
No, I mean, that's a great point too. It depends on the scoring in your league. I would, me personally, if I'm looking for a D lineman, I would prefer more of an edge type just because of the versatility there and the scoring options. Like, because Dex is a guy that sometimes when he's at his best, it doesn't show up in the box score. It shows up when you go back and you watch. Like some of Dex's best games, in my opinion, he wasn't even like super productive when he played for us. But it was just the things he was able to do and the ways he was able to affect the offense. That's what made him so good outside of the numbers. Like obviously he has the pressure thing and when you talk about the sacks, and that's crazy for a nose tackle, yeah. But I'm looking at just the overall tackle numbers, and I think I would buy the edge position over an interior defense lineman for my D line position.
I mean, for me, like Dexter Lawrence, like I'm not sure I wouldn't buy or sell him. Like it's kind of like for me with Roquan. Like I'd be having I'd have him on a watch list. Like I mean, like if his sack production and like people said, like his tackle for losses are good, then he's gonna put up points. So I'm just like a wait and see on Dex. 49ers I'm buying because I just think with the amount of injuries that they had last year, you just got to expect that I mean, like they're going to be a lot more healthy because I mean, most times with teams it goes in cycles. Like you're going to have one year where you get a lot of injuries, and the next year, you'll tend to be a little bit more healthy. That's just what you hope for. So I mean, if Fred Warner and Bosa are healthier this year than last, and then you mix in some of the guys that they drafted last year who actually performed, I mean, at a good level last year. Like I think the 49ers could have a top 10 fantasy defense. Um, so I would buy on them.
My hatred. My bad. My bad. Dexter Lawrence. I think when you look at IDP, it's a little tough situation. Obviously, everybody touched on it, like the tackle situation. But I think he could, if those other guys that they have drafted over the past few seasons, could take a step forward. Dexter Lawrence could have one of those seasons where it's an anomaly where he does have the production to justify taking him early as a D tackle. It just depends though. It's all about how you play him, how they play. He needs some of those one on ones so he can get some higher production. Yes, double teams. He does beat double teams on a regular basis, but the more opportunity he can get one on one to elevate his production as a player in the middle of the defense. So I do like the Dexter Lawrence pickup. I think he could be a great second option on an IDP. When you have somebody that's going to put up the tackle numbers that you need, he can come behind with the sack numbers and make it a little bit, you know, even. With the 49ers, I agree with what J Mick said. When healthy, I think they could be a very, very good defense. So if Fred Warner, if Bosa, if that secondary, if those guys can stay healthy throughout the season, the duration of the season, I think that could be a very good defense. And yeah, I would when healthy, I would buy.
Yeah, I agree. And especially with, I mean, if I'm looking at that Bengals D line, I like the pickup of Boy Mafe as well for them. Um, and I do like Dex and what he can do. And he's probably not gonna be, if I'm looking at drafting IDP, I'm looking at D line, he's probably not gonna be a top guy that I would go for, but he would be after you see some of these guys go. He's a guy I'm like, okay, I can't wait to grab him. I need to get him now. So he'll be that type of player for me if I'm looking at IDP. And yeah, 49ers, if I'm looking at total team defense, they're probably in the top 7, top 8 defenses I'm looking at fantasy purposes wise. And I do like the potential of this team. You got a lot of guys um, that I think you'll see great production out of. I do like the Romello Hype pick for them as well. I do want to see how that pans out, but I'm buying the 49ers defense.
Certified yourselves.
All right, so this pains me to say, you know, because Buck was my guy, but
I
he
would
his,
tell you
his
to stop lying, but I ain't gonna say
what? Nah, man, listen. I've been harassing C. Lou for about 4, 5 seasons, man. Give me Buck back, dog. Let me get Buck back, dog. Like you know what I'm saying? Just let me get my dog back. But the injuries are piling up, man. He had a real serious injury last year. He came back. He re-injured his neck. Um, and then it's like the amount of times that defensive tackles have helmet to helmet contact in a single game is extremely high. I just don't see DeForest Buckner playing long, period. But I just feel like his production is just going to, again, another pass rush defensive tackle. I just feel like his production is going to nosedive. I would stay away from him. And then as far as like the defense, man, I touched on it earlier. Tampa Bay has had some really, the Panthers have had some really nasty injuries this off season. They just with their linebacker just went down, ACL and MCL, right?
yeah, Nick Scorton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is his meniscus cool?
They
I
just
didn't
said
hear
Um,
anything about the
I
meniscus, but
yeah,
I heard
Okay.
I
ACL, MCL.
Okay. Well, he, he might
will
not
report
play.
yet.
Yeah, he might not play this season. With the advancements of technology, like players are coming back sooner with ACLs. Absolutely crazy. Um, But even if he does come back, I'm not sure how impactful he's going to be. I'm not even sure with the rash of injuries that they had in the playoffs last year and this offseason. I don't even see the Panthers being in a position to even be playing him if he does come back. So I'm definitely selling them. Yeah, I know they picked up Jalen Phillips, pressure boy. That's Smitty's homie right there.
Huh?
If you're looking for a Jalen Phillips jersey, man, hit up Smitty. He got like three of them. But
Huh?
huh? Listen, but yeah, I just don't think that they have enough right now to compete in a rising division, and I think that the Panthers, they might get boat race a few times this season. So I definitely even if I was picking last in a league, I'll stay away from the Panthers this season.
Um, I do agree with DeForest Buckner. I think he's kind of on a downturn. And a player that's constantly dealing with like little nicks here and there, and a neck injury I think is very serious, especially in a contact sport like football is. So I would probably fade him. With the Panthers, this is what I'm gonna say. Well, all the money that they have put on the defensive side of the ball, specifically that D line and linebacker room, it is a big blow with Nick Gordon, who I think was really one of their better performing rookies. Him and I believe Princely as well, kind of really performed well. So that will be a loss for them. However, they should still be able to perform because you put a lot of money. You got Wharton over there the season before with a big money contract. You did overpay for Phillips this season. You put a lot of draft capital into that. I expect them to perform, and if they don't, I think this is an indictment on the mismanaging that they have been doing with this roster. Um, I think they got better with the safeties a little bit. Secondary, I really like, especially that Will Lee, cornerback out of I believe A&M, who I really liked in the draft. He's been really kind of showing up for them during training camp. Um, he's been flashing for them, so I expect that secondary to be a little bit better. But I think the biggest problem that Panthers defense had was the linebacker group, and they brought in Devin Lloyd from the Jaguars through free agency to kind of help solidify that. So I'm still I do agree with Cert in selling them because that's a lot of moving parts. That's a lot of new faces and places. I don't like that. I like if I'm drafting in fantasy, it's too many question marks. Like I expect you to perform better, but will you is the question. And so I do agree with with selling the Panthers at this moment.
Yeah, I would agree with both. DeForest Buckner, uh, highly talented player, man, but the injuries are starting to just sit on top of each other. I think he at the back end anyways of the career. It's starting to just might be a couple more, and then it might be over with. So I probably would sell on the Forrest Buckner. His production, his statistical gain hasn't been where it needs to be for me to take him early. With the Panthers, I agree with Pop. Like I think they have invested enough into the team that losing Nick, you should still be productive. You should still be able to go out there and be a a manageable defense that keeps the game in range. You should be able to go out and not get boat raced multiple times in the season. You invested a lot of money, a lot of capital. into revamping that defense. That defense should still be able to compete. But yes, I am selling on the Panthers defense because I don't believe that the money spent, the capital spent, will be enough. I just don't think so. I don't agree. But I think it should be. And we will be talking about it later that all the money they spent was an indictment on buying a defense. Maybe you should have paid more for Milton Wood.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
before you start, Mick, real quick, the rookie that I was talking about was Jaden Duggar. He did. I said he played safety in high school. He played safety in college. We drafted him out of Louisiana, 6'5", 240, real fluid hips. And like I said, Raheem is expected to play him at the star position.
when it comes to I've said it multiple times about players, a couple players coming from neck injuries, man. Like I'd have to sell Buckner. I mean, and I actually like him as a player, but like the whole neck injury thing, man, it's just so unpredictable. Like you just don't know how players are going to react to that. I mean, he had that injury last year. I believe it was either early or midway through the season, and he never came back.
Oh, no, he came back, but he went out after the 49ers game.
Yeah, but I think
He went back out.
Yeah, I'm saying I think he only came back for one game, and he went back out again. So when it comes to the neck injury thing, man, especially in the collision sport, man, I gotta just like I mean, the odds that the player return to what he was is, I don't want to say slim, but it's definitely a lower chance. So I mean, I hope he plays well, but I just don't see it. So I'll sell on him. Panthers, like I really like what they did in free agency. Like I like what they did. Like I like what they did in the draft. Like I feel as if the defense could be good from just a general football perspective. Now, when it comes to fantasy, it's a little different, and that's why I probably sell. Because I like the interior, like I mean, the D tackle Brown is probably one of the better like interior D tackles in the league. Probably like you could probably put him on that top 10 list. But I don't know where the pressure is coming from. They signed Jalen Phillips. He get a lot of pressures, just don't get a lot of sacks. So, and then, obviously we talked about, Scoring got towards ACL, and I mean, they already ruled him out for the year. So I don't know where the sack production comes from. I do like their secondary. I do like their linebackers, but from a fantasy perspective, it's just like I'm gonna need turnovers. I'm gonna need sacks, and I'm gonna need tackle for losses. I mean, stuff like that. And I'm also need the defense not to give up that many points. So like I said, I just don't know where the sack production is coming from. They were really inconsistent last year, not only on offense but on defense as well. I mean, there were some games where they just gave up a lot of points. And so just for that fact, I would go ahead and sell that defense.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said about DeForest Buckner and the Panthers. And when you look at the Panthers schedule, I mean, they have maybe 2 matchups where you would feel okay about starting them. One for sure in the first 5 weeks. So off of that alone, I probably would sell them. They play the Bears. I wouldn't feel comfortable with the defense against the Bears. Honestly, I wouldn't feel comfortable against the Falcons. The Browns, I feel comfortable as of right now against the Browns, but we'll see. The Lions, I wouldn't feel comfortable playing the defense in that matchup. And the Eagles, I wouldn't want to play it in that matchup either. So I don't know why you would draft the Panthers. Honestly, they're probably a team that at some point, if you are interested in them and high on them, that you pick up off the waiver wire later in the season. But they are not a defense you draft.
All right, who wants to go next, Pop or Dre?
I can go if you want me to.
All right, well, you're up.
All right. Well, I'm buying Abdul Carter and the Giants defense. Surprise, surprise, right? But I think Abdul Carter last year showed flashes. He had a lot of pressures.
Dre, I think
Hopefully,
everyone's shocked. I think the whole
I,
show is
I'm
shocked right now.
I know, right? I'm betting on him taking that next step and being able to put it together, especially with the group of guys we have around him this year. And on the other side with Micah, I'm not interested in entertaining Micah this season coming off of that injury. It's maybe down the road, like he would be a waiver wire target for me, but he's not a guy I'm drafting coming into the year. And as far as the defenses goes, the reason I would buy the Giants is because I think that our defense is going to create a lot of chaos. I think chaos leads to turnovers, and I think turnovers lead to a lot of fantasy points. Also, sacks do play a role in that too. Brian Burns was just number two in the league last year in sacks. You remove Dexter Lawrence, but I think we immensely upgraded the linebacker core with Tremaine Edmonds and Arvell Reese, two guys that actually are pretty good against the run. And you got DJ Reader up front to be the space eater. He's not Dexter Lawrence, but he can be a space eater up front, keeping linebackers free. So I think that there's potential, like I said, for his defense to cause a lot of chaos and create turnover. Um, the Texans, on the other hand, the Texans are the best defense in the NFL. The reason I'm selling the Texans, though, is because of their schedule to start the year. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking them where they're being drafted based on who they play early on. Um, Let me pull it up right here. You got the Bills week 1, Bengals week 2, Colts. Okay, maybe it depends. Like I'm interested to see how the Colts offense looks going into that game. Daniel Jones is supposedly healthy. He was playing at an MVP level at one point last year. I don't know. That could be a productive offense. And then you have the Cowboys week 4. So I just think it's a tough opening stretch to the season. And that's why, for me personally, I don't think I could justify taking the Texans early or earlier than any other defense. And that's where they're being drafted for the most part right now.
Okay, I do agree with Abdul Carter. I think he's a very talented edge. He's going to do some amazing things with the additions added to the Giants defense. Also, um, but I am not sure about the defensive coordinator you brought in to be buying your defense. Because everything I heard about him is kind of up in the air, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I do like him as when he was a DB coach. I think he was very talented. He did a lot of good things as a DB coach. But I'm going to find out this season if he is able to command a talented defense and raise some of the talent on that defense to play better. So right now, I'm 50-50 on buying the defense. I will agree with the Micah Parsons. I think coming off the knee injury, not necessarily knowing where he's going to be at early in the season. Maybe we'll prefer to get him later in the season when I'm kind of seeing some of the production pick up and he's starting to get in the rotation. You are crazy about that start of the season. I think they are going to have an amazing start to the season as a Texans defense. I'm buying the Texans defense, top 3 defense in the league. I'm taking them over a lot of defenses. I'm even taking them over the Eagles. I'm taking them over the Broncos. I'm taking Houston if I can get them in almost any scenario. Yeah, it's a tough start, but I think they are going to show you why they're the best defense in football in the first 5 games of the season. And it's going to be no questions to be answered.
I just don't always think best defense equates to best defense in fantasy. Similar like quarterback. Sometimes
Well,
the best quarterbacks
I
on the
think
league
they're
are not the best fantasy quarterbacks.
I think they do a lot of good with taking the ball away. And I mean, obviously, hat on helmet is the best thing I can get. They do a pretty good job of taking the ball away, and I think um, they're gonna do more of that too. And I mean, if Daniel Jones plays, all well and good, but he could be the bolster of that situation if he give up multiple. You know, Joe Burrow might give you one. I mean, I think they will take the ball away and give you some good points as a defense.
Um,
Okay.
so I go next. Abdul Carter. I mean, everybody know on this show, man. You've been watching the show long enough, man. I wanted to draft Abdul Carter. And so with Dexter Lawrence leaving, it does give me a little bit of doubt. But like, so my thing is, you got Brian Burns on the other end. Like, he was second in sacks last year. So I just think teams are going to focus a lot on him. And I think for that fact, I just think it's going to give Abdul Carter a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and he's just going to have to capitalize, which I feel like he can do going into his second year. Like, I just feel like he's going to add more to his bag, and I just think he's going to be better. So I would buy on him. Now the Giants defense, I can't do the buy. I'm not selling them, and I'm not buying them. It's a more wait and see approach. So like the Giants got a lot of talent on that defense, and they just got to transform. The DC got to transform that talent into results. We've been saying that for the last couple of years, and I feel like they could do it. I'm just unsure of the linebacker situation and the secondary situation. I feel as if linebacker wise, I mean it's okay, but they got a lot of guys that need to just prove themselves, and in the secondary, I kind of feel the same way. So I do think the Giants are going to get a good amount of sacks, but I also feel like they have the possibility of giving up a good amount of points, which is going to take away from your fantasy points. Um, Micah obviously a sell because like if Micah was a receiver, then you could like in certain leagues like they'll have like an IR spot so you could draft him and stash him. But like it's already been said that he's probably gonna start the season on pup. Um, and so, I mean, for an individual defensive player, like I'm not gonna stash you and wait and hold on and see when you come back if you're gonna come back like the same player that you were. So I would definitely sell on him. And the Texans, I'm not selling on the Texans, man. The amount of pressure they're gonna generate from the edges, the linebackers they have and the corners they have, like I just feel as if they're going to be a top 5 fantasy defense. Like I feel as if they're going to give you a lot of sack production, a lot of tackle for loss production. And I get Dre's point about the schedule, but sometimes when you have a defense like that that's so good, like they can go against guys like Josh Allen and still produce. I mean, because they essentially did it last year. I mean, they shut down Josh Allen, and I believe that week they put up pretty good fantasy numbers that week. Um, so I think the Texans in the real football sense is a great defense, and I feel like in fantasy they're still going to be a top 5 fantasy defense as well.
Yeah. Um, I ain't buying it though. I'm gonna start from the top. I'm not too fond of their choice in defensive coordinator. I wasn't fond of Abdul Carter to begin with, even when he got drafted. I think he's just a guy. And then you take away a piece like Dexter Lawrence. And don't get me wrong, Brian Burns, the Florida State great. Um, I just feel like, he's going to get off, but I don't feel like he necessarily creates opportunity for other guys. And I feel like that's what Abdul is going to need. I could be wrong, but I just think that Abdul is just a guy. Now as far as the Giants defense, I sold dog. You can have it. I ain't even gonna fight you for it. They've been anointed a top 10 defense over the last 2, 3 seasons. We ain't seen none of that. And I just don't feel like you get better um, through subtraction. You know what I'm saying? Like if Sexy Dexy is the best defensive tackle in the league, how do you get better without him? So the Micah thing, that's definitely he he depends. See, I don't know, man. I don't know again, like, the advancement of medicine, man. Conventional wisdom would say no, but I mean, if he comes back with no hits, I can't sit here and say that Michael Parsons ain't gonna be Michael Parsons. But just going off of guys coming back, um, he got injured late. I think it was like week 11, wasn't it? I know it was past week 10.
Yeah, it's like 10, somewhere between week 10 and 12.
Okay, yeah, he
Yeah,
got
it was right before the start of the December slate of games
okay.
or
So
something, somewhere around there.
he got hurt a little late. So even with the advancement of medicine, man, you got to worry about soreness and swelling. Because
Right.
lifting weight. Go ahead.
Because it wasn't just an ACL, right? Like, I think he tore his meniscus, didn't he?
I thought it was both.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it could definitely be both. So,
Yeah, I thought it was the meniscus and the ACL, but I could be wrong. But he relies on bend, he relies on acceleration, the quick twitch, the burst. Um, that's a lot to do coming back so soon, and he is undersized. You got dudes 290, 320 pushing on you, and you trying to bend and that y- you're not sure about the stability of that knee.
It was
Um,
both.
okay, all right,
okay.
yeah, that's a lot to come back from. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell just because of the time frame. Now the Houston defense, bruh, I need your connect. Because that's crazy to me. I feel like they were the best defense last year and they got better. Um, and not only with addition, but also continuity. This is a very young defense. It's only a handful of these dudes that have hit their prime, you know. So they're with D'Amico, one of the most intelligent defensive minds in the game right now. Um, just them gelling together another year under their belt as players another year together, I think that they can be even more dynamic this year. I feel like I think Houston gonna put up some numbers, man. I think they're gonna put up some all-time numbers on defense, man. I really do. Prayers out to everybody that got to play them boys. Um, yeah, good luck with that.
Honestly, it's not like I don't disagree with anything y'all saying about the Texans defense. It's just I think that you're taking them earlier than like I think there's more value in taking other defenses maybe 2 or 3 rounds later than taking
Like
the
who?
Texans early.
Probably like the Rams, probably.
The
I mean, but they're
49ers, you brought up the 49ers, right? Yeah, if you can get the 49ers 3 rounds later or 2 rounds later, then you can get the Texans and still pick up two premium offensive players in that time frame.
I
I
get
would
what you're
I,
saying.
I would prefer that. So it's more so a strategy thing. Like it's not that I don't even think the Texans can't finish top 5 in fantasy. I just don't like where they're being drafted at.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right, but uh, Houston, they're not waiting. Their top guys aren't coming back from season-ending injuries. Houston is not implementing a new system. They don't have a new defensive coordinator. Like everything that they had last year is healthy and ready to go, and they made additions during the offseason. So I get what you're saying, but I'm not skip if I have the opportunity to draft Houston in the fifth or sixth round, I'm not going to pass that up to draft the 49ers in 7 or 8. I'm not doing that.
I think on both sides are making good points because, like, if you want the Texans defense, you're not going to be able to draft them in the 10th round. Like, you're gonna, like what you're saying. about drafting them is you're gonna have to be probably one of the first two people in your league to draft a defense, just to guarantee you get them. Because I think the first two defenses that go are the Rams and them. So yeah, like so I mean, if you're willing to pay that cost to draft them early, I mean, I just feel like the Texans gonna give you points, bro. Like I just the amount of sacks they're gonna produce, the interceptions that they're gonna produce because based off the pressure, and I mean, not like sack fumbles and stuff like that. Like they're gonna give you the points. It's just you, like Dre said, you do have to kind of weigh it with: do you want to draft them, or would you rather draft a wide receiver too? So I mean, that's what you got to ask yourself. I mean, if you're willing to part with drafting a good wide receiver too for getting the Texans defense, then you just got to hope that it pans out. Like I mean, like the Texans don't get injuries and they produce like you think they're going to produce.
Hey, Smitty, put me down for the Texans holding defenses under 14 points.
Offenses.
Yeah, offense.
So you think they're going to average like points per game, like under 14 points per game?
Yeah.
Okay. I
mean, look, that built by Bama, man. The Tuscaloosa, Texas. If they do that, hey, look, that'll be amazing.
How many guys do they have from Alabama?
Wait a minute, they had coaches from Alabama.
Coaches and players.
He learned from the best. Yeah. And where you think he learned that defense or philosophy from?
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Roll Tide. Yeah.
My bad. I apologize, everybody. This my fault.
We blamed you anyways. It didn't matter.
We gonna see y'all in a few weeks.
I'm used to it.
Well, we got about a month and a half until we line it up. Something like that.
Yeah, about a month and a half. About a month and a half.
That'd be funny.
About a month and a half.
That would be hilarious. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Damn, month and a half. We gonna get to it, man. That's crazy.
Hey, mate, don't worry about us. You got your own problems over there.
No,
in 2 weeks, preseason starts. So
yes, sir.
Yeah. Great time.
And by the way, can I ask you one question, Certified? What do you not like about Denard Wilson?
Denard Wilson.
Yeah, that's DC.
Yeah, DC.
Yeah, for the Giants.
Well, I don't know much about him. I'm just going off of what I've read, and it's a lot of question marks.
I think he was
and that's my only, like, if everything that I'm hearing is I don't know, that I'm just skeptical. But I'm not saying that he's going to be bad, but the quote unquote experts, they have a lot of questions. So I'm just going off of what they say.
But I think he was the DC for Tennessee when they had like a top 10 or 15 defense, I believe.
Not top 10, not top 5, top 3, and they wasn't number 3.
Yeah, but
when was that?
Talking about running
2 years ago, his first year as Tennessee's defensive coordinator, he had the number 2 defense in the NFL in multiple categories.
Yeah,
you got a Jeffrey Simmons on the same?
Yeah, of course.
Like right now,
I don't have a Jeffrey Simmons, but I have in totality more talent on that defense than he had 2 years ago.
But first line of the defense.
I got the same questions though. I ain't gonna care. I haven't. I want to see him with. I want to see it.
I mean, and I think Denard has the capability. I'm just the reason.
Yeah, I think he do.
The reason why I didn't buy it is because I've been hearing this talk for the last couple of years. So I'm at the point now where the Giants.
Oh, that's fair.
See it first. That's all.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think he's gonna be. I think he's very talented defensive mind, but I got to see him put it together with this team. You know what I mean? It's just a little different. A little bit different of a setup, a little different mechanism, and then you're in New York too, so.
But I also think I don't think he needs the defense to be top 10. But if that defense could just give up under 20 points a game, like I think the offense and then the news with Malik Neighbors not going to be placed on pup. Like I mean, I don't think the defense got to be just a shutdown defense.
And we also got to look at how well the offense is going to play too. You know what I'm saying? Like the offense got to stay on the field. And they a little light over there too.
Hey man, y'all let my girl Pop get in here so she could touch on this one.
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead, Pop.
I mean, I could have kept talking because I'm gonna be honest.
Be honest,
The
Pop.
the only thing I'm buying on Dre's list is the Houston Texans defense. I'm selling everything else.
Ooh,
Like for me, I do expect Abdul Carter to produce better, but he's not a guy I'm gonna be buying in IDP. I would kind of fade him. Well, not necessarily fade him. He's not a buy or a sell for me. He's just a guy I would probably just look at or wait. If all the guys I have on my list are gone, he might be a guy I would then tap on, but I'm not really buying him. And the New York Giants got to put up or shut up. I've been hearing way too much about this defense, and they haven't done anything for real, for real. So they have to show me that all these pieces they got are what people expect them to be. And just right now, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Yeah, I'm definitely selling Micah. I don't think he's gonna be back until after the first month of this season. I think his target is week 6 or 7 of him coming back. So I'm definitely selling him. But I'm buying the Houston Texans defense. Since 2023, fantasy wise, this defense has been in the top 5. And I expect that trend to continue. Not only did they get younger, the talent that they brought in is better as well. And I do expect them to be once again a top 5 fantasy defense going into the year. This is one of those defenses that are in my top 5 if I'm looking at total team defense and who I'm looking to snatch up. Once I've filled out most of my roster, that's how in redraft leagues where there's a defense, I tend to like to fill my roster starters first, get a couple of bench players, then look at defenses. That way, I'm not missing out on some of the depth I could kind of build with my team. And the Texans is one of the first names I'm looking at with that, and I'm definitely buying them going into fantasy this season.
All right, Pop, your list is up. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Caden Proctor. Actually, I like rookie. But I like his potential with that Texans defense. I really do. This is a guy I've been talking about might be in the defensive rookie of the year conversations if things pan out. Specifically for his position, I think he's he has my potential for him is very high, and I like him going into the year. And the Seahawks, this defense, I don't think there's gonna be a fall off. I think they really couldn't add too much through the draft. I think they had only 4 picks in total, and they kind of stuck in picked. But some of the pieces that are already there and what they were able to add to that defense, I don't expect to fall off. And I believe this is year 3 for McDonald now,
yes,
3 or 4. Yeah. So, and I expect that to be a well-oiled machine, and him knowing the players that'll fit, how to use them, and the proper position. So, I'm definitely a buyer of the Seahawks um, team defense. Jared Verse, I'm selling. I don't think he's surrounded by the talent that he had with the Rams. Um, I think he is the only focal point on that defensive line. And to me, he's not out of caliber of a Miles Garrett that can handle those type of double teams and triple teams and still make something out of nothing. So I'm selling on him in the Bengals. I do like Dexter Lawrence. I do like Boye Mafe. But if I'm looking at the rest of that defensive unit, I'm not a fan of. They had a couple of DBs that really showed up last year, but I'm still not sold on the safety room, and that linebacker core is putrid. And I don't think they really did anything to really address it. And Shamar Stewart, their first round draft pick, Jamar Chase had more tackles and sacks than he did last year. So just think about that stat. So he has to step up, especially with the loss of Trey Henderson. I'm not sold on this Bengals defense. I'm definitely selling them. I just think while they added some pieces, it's just not gonna pan out to much of anything this season.
Can I? Is the player supposed to be Caden Proctor or Caden McDonald?
It's McDonald from yeah,
Oh, she had put Proctor. I don't know how it came out like that.
yeah, it's McDonald. Their second round draft pick.
Caden McDonald.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll have enough production this year to buy him as a guy that I'm drafting. And honestly, I would rather draft Jared Verse over him, and I think he'll be more productive. I think he has a higher tackle floor, and I think he has like a also the higher ceiling as far as sacks go. So I would take Jared Verse over Caden Proctor. I would reverse those. Um, I would buy the Seahawks, and uh, I don't know. Well, yeah, I probably would buy the Seahawks, but I would. The Bengals is a team that I would wait and see on. It's not necessarily a seller for me, but it's kind of just a holdout, and they'll be on my list of highlighted teams that I'll be watching early on.
I go next. Caden McDonald, I'd probably sell. Like, I think he's going to be good with the defense, but like from a fantasy perspective, like to me, I think the Texans they're going to have a rotation when it comes to their D tackles. So I would love to see what his snap share is going to be. Um, so just for that fact, I probably sell. I do think he's going to be a good player. I think his production to me is going to come later in the season. What I mean, like once he's come, I mean, gets more comfortable with that defense. As much as I would love to sell the Seahawks, I mean, I think you got to buy because I mean, Mike McDonald is still going to be coaching that defense up. They lost a couple things. I mean, like they lost what I mean, Tariq Woolen. I think they lost like a D tackle too or something like that. They lost a couple pieces, but I think Mike has got that thing, so well that I just think they're going to be a top 10 fantasy defense. I think they're going to give you the sack production and they're going to give you turnovers. So just from that fact, I'll buy them. I agree with Pop with Jared Verse. I'd sell. I wouldn't say they don't have anything on the D line because they got the kid out of Michigan that they drafted last year. His name is escaping me right now. So I mean, yeah, I mean you could double Jared Verse, but then you have that D tackle on the inside that you have to account for. But I don't. I said it earlier, like an edge. Like I like if I'm going to draft you and start you week in and week out, I need you to get at least 10 sacks. And I don't think Jared Verse, I don't think he had 10 sacks last year. And I mean he was playing with better players. So I mean like the Browns don't have the same DC as they had last year either. So for all those factors, I would sell them. Definitely selling the Bengals defense. Um if I'm saying on one end that the Giants got to show me because they've been overhyped, the Bengals defense has been ass for the last 3 years. And so I don't think just adding Dexter Lawrence is going to fix that because to me, the linebackers are not good. DJ Turner is a good corner, but outside of him, what other good corners do they have? I really don't know. And I'm not sold on the safety group, and so I just I've been saying it's repetitive. Like I need sack production, I need turnovers, and I don't think the Bengals defense gives you, either of them things.
Yeah. As far as I agree with what Mick said about Caden. Uh, Houston has a pretty solid defensive line rotation, and even if he did get considerable minutes, I see him more as a space eater than like a production guy. So I will probably I think that he's going to play well as a player with that collection of talent around him. And playing in D'Amico's system. But as an individual player, IDP, I probably would shy away from that. I agree with the Seahawks, man. Mike McDonald, he gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like he's without a doubt one of the best coaches, overall coaches that we have in the league, not just defensive coaches. I think he's a magnificent coach, period. So he's going to get the best out of his guys. He's really a really great evaluator of talent. So whether he's going to get the right guys in the right position to do what they need to do. Um, as far as Jared Verse, yeah, he's just a guy. He was just a guy on a really good defense. Now, I feel like he's going to a better linebacker group. But as far as like the defensive line, I think they got well, what's the defensive tackle? The guy they drafted from Michigan, the white guy.
Yeah, that's the guy I was talking about. I just can't remember his name.
Um,
What was his name?
Graham keeps coming to my mind, but I don't think his name is Graham.
Nah, it's definitely Graham. It's Mason Graham.
Mason Graham. Okay, yeah, Mason Graham. I think he's a two. I don't think he should be your number one DT. He's a solid two. But he's not a difference maker. I think that the Browns defense line is going to struggle a little bit. But to me, right now, that strength is behind the line. They got Swersinger. They got a nice secondary. I don't think that's enough. I'm not sure how much pressure they're going to put on the quarterback. And the Bengals, um, I like Jamal Stewart. I think he had a pretty okay season, okay, for a rookie. I just think that a healthy Dexter Lawrence, um, a motivated Dexter Lawrence, is going to do wonders for this defense. And I'm looking at things in totality. The Bengals are going to put up points, so they're going to be on the high end of 20, close to 30 points a game. So that's going to put your defense in a lot of situations where they could pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. And that's going to bode well for Dexter and Shamar. So I think that the Bengals defense is going to surprise a few people because of the position that the offense is going to put them in.
I agree with everything that was said about Caden McDonald. I think the Texans have a bolsterous defensive roster. It's going to be hard for him to get the production. He needs to be an early buyer in this situation. But I do agree with the Seahawks. I think the head coach McDonald has a very, very good system. He's created a culture that builds around what he does best, which is the defense. They've played good year in and year out since he's been there. I don't think that's going to change. I think he's still going to be able to get high production. Uh, I would like to see what those young guys that he got on the roster now pans out to be, but I think I think he will be able to keep them boys in contention. With Jared Verse, he's gonna have to take a step. It's gonna be a necessary step because what they've lost is Miles Garrett. Jared Verse is not Miles Garrett, unless he's a sheep in wolf's clothing. Um, he's not Miles Garrett. As of now, it's a significant fall off. Uh, you have some of the biggest shoes to ever to try to fill, and y'all are gonna have to do that as a group. But Jared Verse, you're gonna have to lead that group because right now, considerably, you're probably the best pass rusher in that room. Um, you got to see it. I do like Mason Graham, like y'all said, but I don't think Mason Graham is gonna get enough double teams to give Jared Verse the amount of one on ones he was getting with the Rams to be um, as decent as he was. And somebody said it already. You didn't even get 10 sacks there. Uh, with the Bengals defense, I'm gonna wait and see. I'm on the border of selling right now because of how bad they were. I don't think just adding the pieces they did, they're gonna get a significant jump. But I do think they could somehow find their way back into the middle of the pack, somewhere around that 14 to 16 range, where they're better, and you can kind of have conversations about maybe needing to pick them up later in the year on the waiver, or your defense that you picked isn't doing well. They're towards the bottom, and you want to just improve your defensive output. The Bengals could be in that situation. So I'm gonna wait and see, because Certified made some good points about Dexter Lawrence and what he could bring to that defense and give some of those young guys an ability to advance, to improve. So that could help. But I do agree with what Jay Mick said. A lot of the other pieces on that defense are still bad. And when it's like that, it's hard to kind of know whether or not, it's going to get that much better. So I'm going to wait and see on them. But I do think right now, as of right now, I would agree with Pop, and I'm selling the Bengals defense. All right, so that does conclude our IDP players and teams list. Buyers and sellers, man. We ran through it. We've been here for 2 hours and 16 minutes. I didn't expect it to be that long, but hey, man, it was some good defenses, good players. And I think as we go on, man, we will, get a chance to talk about some more fantasy things as the season progresses. Waiver wires, we add in some things, man. So y'all stay tuned. We got some things. If y'all didn't catch it yet, we put out a post. We are bringing the mailbag to the CheckDown. So if you haven't yet, go to the CheckDown page, add us, and send us over some of the things you want to talk about this football season, man. And if you want us to evaluate your fantasy football teams live on the CheckDown, drop your fantasy football teams in the chat, and we'll bring them up and present them right here live and give you some feedback and some pointers on improving your team. But with that being said, man, Pop, get us out of here.
As always, follow the CheckDown YouTube page, like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow the CheckDown Twitter page, join the CheckDown Twitter community. Always remember to tell a friend, and we'll tap in with y'all next Saturday at 11:15 Eastern Standard Time.
Check. Check down. Check down. This the check down. We give it to you straight. This the check down. We really watch the tape. This the check down. We give it to you straight. This the check down. We really watch the tape. From the street to the game.